Noah Studios coming at you live from the trees of Battle of the Bands. As always, I'm Braden. Here with me is Everest. Everest, what are we talking about this week, man?
Well, this week, since, I think last week, someday, I don't know, not too long ago, it was the anniversary of the Richard Linklater movie, School of Rock, starring the wonderful Jack Black. And School of Rock is one of my favorite movies, and I was like, Braden, we should talk about this movie. And Braden was like, okay. And then Braden finally rewatched it again. He'd already seen it earlier this year, but he loved me so much, he put in the effort to rewatch it a whole nother time for us to do this episode. I haven't seen it since last year, I think, but I love it a lot, and I've seen it a ton of times. So we're going to be talking about School of Rock, and probably a bunch of other random stuff, and probably football, because, that's us. But, yeah, how are there trees at the Battle of the Bands? Where is
Man,
the Battle of the Bands? How is that working? Is this an outdoor music festival sort of thing? What's going on here?
Man, if it's indoors, we just dig until we hit soil, and then we plant the trees, man, and wait for them to grow.
Yeah, but how are those? We're waiting for them to grow. We're old as shit, then, dude.
No, dude, you get some of that you get some of that poison ivy water. They grow immediately.
Yeah. Hit up my homegirl, Poison Ivy.
Be like, yo, we're trying to grow trees to better the environment here. Can you help us out? And she's like, trees, plants, I love those. And she just comes over.
Yeah.
And then she's like, you want to kiss? And I'm like, no, I don't. I would love one, but I don't want to be poisoned.
Hey, you know what? I feel like you can work up immunity to it over time. So, as long as you can survive it once, modern medicine be doing wonders.
Oh my god. I should bring my rubber lips, dude. What am I doing?
Yeah. Dude, the rubber lips. They will protect you. Man, what a film.
Dude, Batman and Robin is so iconic. So,
Batman and Robin is awesome.
School of Rock was released September 24th, so about 2 weeks ago was its 20th. But we're here to celebrate it now, so better late than never.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. Anniversaries are weird anyways. Who knows? It probably came out, today, somewhere in the world during 2003.
There's very few films that get just one single worldwide release. Usually it's at least different somewhere, some country.
Yeah. But anyway, what was your original relationship with this movie? Do you remember when you saw it for the first time, or
I think
what was happening?
I actually saw it in school when I saw it for the first time. I don't remember why we were watching it. I don't know if that was a substitute day or just a day that the teacher didn't want to actually teach, so they showed a School of Rock.
Facts. I felt that, dude. That was the best. When a teacher was just like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm not feeling this shit today.
That would be me as a teacher. Every other day, I'd be like, yeah, we're watching a movie class. I would have to be a film teacher or something, so I had the excuse to do that.
Yeah. Nah, they make you follow state curriculum and stuff, so if you were a film teacher, you could probably get away with it.
Yeah, exactly. That's all I did in a film class for college. All that class was literally watching movies, and then, not necessarily reviewing them, but, just going over all the big stuff in film, up to the lighting and all that. That's
sick. For the people listening, I once helped Braden absolutely nail one of his tests he had to take for that class. Because bro was like, I do not want to watch V for Vendetta. And I was like, I got you. So I watched V for Vendetta, the night before he had to take the test. And honestly, I don't regret it. That movie is pretty interesting.
I should watch it. So I didn't want to watch it at that time because my dog had just died, so there is a backstory to that.
Yeah, bro.
But yeah, Everest was a champion, and he aced my test for me.
Hey, well, you got the psycho questions right, so it was a collaborative effort.
Yeah, psycho. That I saw that before all that went down, all the depression stuff.
It took me forever to see Psycho. I finally watched it 2021. It's a good movie. I don't think it's masterpiece. I'd have to watch it again, but I was like, yeah, I see why this is so big, so popular.
Yeah, I also need to watch it again.
But anyway, I don't remember when I saw School of Rock for the first time. I assume my mom showed it to me. My mom loves this movie. Uh, since then, I've seen it like probably close to double digits. It's one of those movies for me that it's so rewatchable, and I feel like given almost any mood or like circumstance, I can throw it on. Like if I'm kind of down or sick or whatever, gonna brighten my day, I can show it to friends. If I just want like a comedy or whatever, put it on. It's a very like malleable film given like different circumstances, which is not true for every movie. So yeah.
Yeah, it's way funnier than I remember it being. Like,
Dude, I'm so happy you liked it more on this watch because again, I love this movie. I'm not gonna be like, oh, it's perfect. Like it's kind of cheesy. It's got some stuff that like maybe feels a little dated in the 2000s like era, but it has so much heart, and it's also just really funny. Most of that is due to Jack Black being maybe the best he's ever been. I think he's incredible in this movie. I think he's what makes it work so well. We love Jack Black.
Yeah, he definitely is what made it work so well, and a movie being dated is not a bad thing, because
That's true.
I kind of love it when I'm watching some movies, like when you can just tell the era it was made, because it just, I don't know, it makes sense, because that's the era it was made, so obviously it's going to feel like that, and it just kind of gives you those like nostalgic kind of vibes, especially since 2003 is before you were even born, and it's like,
yeah, dude,
it's before but that was, I'll say it's before I can remember. I was 4. Yeah, I was 3 for most of 2003. I turned 4 that year. I don't remember much of anything before I was 5. So
I feel like that's normal. I don't remember much before I was like 4 or 5. I don't know.
I actually never knew before you said it in the intro that Linklater was the director of this movie. I've never paid attention to who directed it.
Oh shit! Yeah, this is a Linklater movie.
Linklater is he's the one that did Dazed and Confused, right?
Dazed and Confused.
Okay.
Yeah. He did the Before trilogy, which is a trilogy of romance movies that I've never seen, but people love them.
I've heard of that trilogy. I've never seen them.
Yeah,
either.
it's like Before Sunrise, Before Sunset, and Before Midnight. And each movie came out 9 years after the original one. Like, I think Before Sunrise is 1995, and then Sunset is 2004, and then Midnight is 2013.
Yeah, Linklater's
kind of interesting.
I don't know how he spends so much time like on his movies. I don't know if he I don't know if he spent 9 years on each of those movies or whatever, or if they so happen to be 9 years apart. But it's kind of odd that they were exactly 9 years apart. So that had to be planned out.
He seems to be a filmmaker that truly is okay with like spending lots of time on stuff, taking his time, growing up. Like Boyhood is wild to me. I've never seen that movie, but to take like 10 years filming this kid's life is insane. I want to watch it someday just to see it, because I can't imagine being that kid. I mean, obviously you're being like paid well and your family's being paid, but like every summer to just go and film for a movie and have like your life be on film throughout your childhood is crazy.
Yeah, I wonder how that kid feels about it. Like now, since he's an adult at this point.
Yeah, I don't know. And then I think Linklater is like one of the like primary people on. They're doing this like movie that I guess is going to take 100 years to film, so it's like going to have to be passed off like throughout the years. This is a real thing. They're making a movie that's going to be like, I don't know if it's going to be a documentary, but it's like 100 years. So it's going to come out.
So no one alive right now is going to see this shit.
Correct. Yeah. It's coming out in like 21, like 20 or something. I don't know. He's starting it. So I don't know. I have no idea the logistics. It's kind of wild. But Linklater's just like, I love time, bro. Like, I'm just going to like chill and,
his grandchildren are just gonna receive a check, like one or not even. I don't know if he has grandchildren right now, but I don't know. His like grandchildren, his great grandchildren, whatever. His distant relatives from 100 years in the future are just gonna receive a check for that shit and be like, "What was Grandpa doing?" Why am I just now getting a check? He died so long ago.
That would be funny. I don't know. I mean, they'd have to know. Like, they'd have to be aware of that. I don't know. That's just crazy. I mean, we'll see if that... I mean, obviously, I won't personally see if that ends up working out. And
none of us will.
But,
that's why it's so weird to me. I'm like, why are you developing a film that literally no one's gonna see? No one here right now. No one on planet Earth right now, unless they were, like, literally just born and lived to be 100.
Who even knows, like, how technology is going to change and how film is going to change in the years that they're supposedly making this movie? Like, I do think it's a very interesting concept.
The human race just needs to never let AI take us over. So,
that's
thank you for those strikes.
Yeah, the writer's strike, actually, they clutched up so big. They actually got, like, really good stuff put in their contract. So, happy for them. Yeah, Linklater's a good...
Well, you know something that AI can give you that humans can? Heart. And that's, like, the most important part of pretty much any movie. Like, you want to see there's passion to this thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, obviously, you can have, like, comedy or, like, action or whatever, but what does it all really mean without, like, heart or an emotional, like, part to a story? And I feel like anything AI comes up with, like, they can try, but it's not going to be the same. It's not going to be human. Obviously, they're not human. So,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, it has to be human for us humans to fucking relate to it and, like, take something away from it. Like, if you just throw a movie out there that was completely AI generated, it's going to be like, I mean, sure, this is a story. That's all I can really say.
I mean, it is a story. But yeah, this does feel kind of weird to come from Richard Linklater. I mean, it makes sense, but I also think it feels so different from what I think of his other, like, filmography. Dazed and Confused is really good. I need to rewatch that movie.
Love that movie.
Feels like it's kind of underrated. Like, I don't hear that many people talking about it. Really good, though. A lot of famous people in that movie. Young McConaughey, young Ben Affleck.
Isn't that Dazed and Confused is where the All Right originated, isn't it? From McConaughey?
I think so. Yeah, I don't actually know. That sounds correct.
I know it's in that movie. I'm assuming, I don't know if he's done it in any other movie, but I know it's in Dazed and Confused, so I assume that's where it first happened. Maybe the only place it's happened. But everyone quotes that. Everyone knows that line from McConaughey, so. Yeah,
that is the McConaughey line. But,
it's funny to me that his character in that movie also, he's like a college age kid, and he's just hanging out with all these high schoolers.
I know, like, what? Nah, low-key, I know people like that, though. Like, I'm like, what are you doing, bro? Like, why are you hanging out with high schoolers?
Yeah.
No, we had all the school football games on Friday night, and it's just like, why are you here? Like, go do your own thing.
Do you not have any friends in college, bro?
I know, like, what's going on?
Yeah. School of Rock, speaking of heart, this movie's got a lot of it.
This movie has so much heart, and I think that's why I keep coming back. I think it says a lot about just people in general, but specifically, like, the education system, in America, and I'm sure other places, but obviously we're from America, so that's what I'm going to speak on. Like, even though this dude, Jack Black, Dewey, he is technically a fraud, he is originally starting out just to make money, he ends up being better than almost any teacher that I've had throughout my years of schooling. He actually cares about the kids, he wants them to succeed, he lets them be themselves, he's so wholesome, I love it.
Yeah, it's great. It's like he wants to be himself, and that's what he wants for everyone else too. And he, expressed that. Like, he wants the kids to be who they want to be, because that's how life should. You should just be whoever the fuck you want to be.
That's what I'm saying. Absolutely. But I always forget how this movie starts out, because it starts out with, like, him still being in his, like, rocker band that he thinks he's gonna make it, and he's, like, a good ass guitarist, and bro just gets thrown out. I'll set up a cool callback later in the movie with the, like, failed crowd surf, though. Then we get to meet Ned.
The whole original song that they're working on is based off that. He's like, you think you can kick me out of the band, but the band is mine.
The band is mine. How can you kick me out of what is mine?
Yeah. Kicks ass.
Yeah, it's good. Then we go back to where he's staying, and we meet Ned and his bitch ass girlfriend. I hate this woman so much, dude.
She is a straight up cunt. She is.
Dude, she's so unlikable. Like, I don't know. I understand wanting your partner to like stay with something more stable, like his job that he's doing now and everything. And like, at the start, he seems just like supportive of him and like trying to get him to not be pushed over by Dewey. But as it progresses, it's just like he does not care about Dewey. He like wants Ned to dump his best friend, and she's just like so concerned about herself. And it's like, bro, let Ned be who he wants to be. Like, what the heck? Why are you like taking Dewey down just because bro is having a hard time? He is so unlikable.
Yeah, legitimately. Like, I love it when Ned sticks it to her in the end. Like, yeah, Ned, let's go.
Great. It's so great.
She's like, when are you gonna stick up for your door shuts? Like, hell yeah, Ned, let's go!
Yes, Ned. Oh man, I'm so happy that they give Ned that moment where he's like, I'm going to the show. I'm going to see Dewey and the kids play. I love it.
Bros before hoes,
But,
man. That was like, that's the classic bros before hoes right there, man.
Bros before hoes. But yeah, I love the whole like first act of this movie where it's like Dewey realizes he can be the substitute teacher for the school. He goes in and he's just like, just have recess. Like, fuck this. He's like asking for food. He's like, you're not gonna get in trouble. I'm hungry. Like, who's got food? Let me see what we're working with here.
Oh my god, the scene he has with like Tamika, I think was her name later. The girl
Tamika, yeah.
Girl like him like really seeing she's got some pipes and she's like, they're gonna laugh at me. And he's like, why? She's like, I don't know, because I'm fat. And he's like, bro, why does that matter? Like,
yeah.
Once I get on stage, like they love me. I'm a legend.
Yeah, they love me. They're gonna love you. Like, oh my god.
And she's like, why don't you diet? And he's like, because I love to eat. Is that such a crime? I'm like, yeah, Jack Black. Tell him.
Exactly.
It's not a crime to like food.
That's what I'm saying. I love how there's so many moments like that where he just figures out how to empower these kids. Like, I love when I don't know all the kids' names, but like I texted you when he's like, when the one kid is like, he's putting them all into spots and like positions with the band. And he's like, can I be the costume designer?
No, I don't remember the kid's actual name, but Jack Black's name for him, Dewey's nickname for him was Fancy Pants.
Fancy Pants, bro. I love Fancy Pants. He's like, can I be the costume designer? And without hesitation, Dewey's like, of course you can. And bro cooks up some fire fits for them. Obviously, AC/DC sort of inspired. And then I love
when
yeah, go ahead.
Wait, Miranda Cosgrove is like one of the main kids, right? She's the I don't even remember her character's name.
I think she's Summer, maybe.
Yeah, Summer. Yeah, she's Summer.
Yeah.
Summer like comes up to him like after class, just like off the street or whatever. She's like, you want me to be a groupie? I looked up what groupies are. They're sluts. And he's like, no, they aren't sluts.
Yeah,
she's like, they sleep with the band. He's like, no.
No,
They don't do
that.
And she's like, look, my mom is going to be really mad. She's a room parent. And once she finds out about this, and Jake Black's like, wait, hold up. I didn't want to tell the rest of the class this, but I have a really important position for you. I want you to be the band manager.
And Summer's like, what's a band manager? I can do that. That's a great example of like learning like from a situation where he was kind of wrong to just be like, Summer, you're a groupie. And he takes into account what she's saying. She's like, I don't want to be that. And he gives her a new position that she killed and is happy with. Like, it's awesome.
She's so worried about her grade like this entire movie too. And Jack Black's like, look, stop asking about your grade or you're going to get deducted.
Yeah. Bro is literally like, hey, I'll give you all the gold stars you want if you just shut up about the grade and manage my goddamn band.
Yeah. Oh, it's great. And when he's like, when he's talking about how he's going to be in the band and all the kids are like, I thought this was a class project. You're not a student. And he's like, so why does that matter? Can I not be in the band? Is it because Is it because I'm old? Is that it?
Is it because I'm old? Yeah. I love the moments, mainly like in the lunchroom or in the teacher's lounge where Dewey's like actually getting to know the other teachers. He has that one joke where he's like, those who can't teach, and those who can't teach gym. I'm like, that shit's so funny. Like,
oh yeah, I think that was in the cafeteria. It's like, it's one of the lunch scenes. The lounge scene was when they were going over because the principal's like in there for a moment, and they're like, but yeah, she's always wound up this tight, except for when she was drunk at that party, and she did a Stevie Nicks impression.
Yeah.
They were like, "Oh, you should have been there to see it," and then that gives Dewey the idea to get her drunk so he can like get this field trip approved.
Get the field trip, yeah. And then she ends up going back on that, so he just stages like a whole ass operation, like covert operation to get them there. That was so in depth, bro. They literally had like recordings that sounded real, and they were like playing it. They had people on watch. They were sneaking all the instruments out.
Yeah, and bro, the stuff with the principal is like, just like real human shit. Like when she goes on that spill while she's drunk in the van with Dewey, she's like, I never wanted to be this. I became the one thing that I didn't want to be. I wasn't always wound up this tight. I used to be fun. I was.
He's like, you are fun. Like,
yeah, and she's like, I'm a.
He's like, yeah, you are.
Yeah, and since this is a PG movie, they couldn't actually use the word bitch, but she was like, I'm a. And he's like, no, you aren't. I think you're pretty cool. You're fun. Yeah. She's like, no, I'm not. And he's like, yeah, you are. She's like, really? Yeah, like he makes everyone feel awesome, dude. It doesn't matter who you are.
He makes everyone feel great. And low-key, like, I understand where that teacher's coming from. She's like, she's under so much pressure from like prep school, like parents who, I mean, we get to see some of later in the movie.
Yeah.
But,
it's like she says, she's like, I have to be like wound this tight or it's my head.
Yeah.
Like, you don't understand how these parents are. And yeah, I get you. I feel you.
Yeah. She's played by Joan Cusack, by the way, which is like weird because that's John Cusack's sister, I think. I don't know. I always forget she's like an actor too.
It's kind of like Jason Bateman's sister is an actor, and I always forget that like half the time.
Is she really? What's her name?
What's her name? I forget her name. It's
well, Braden's looking that up. I don't know, but yeah, Jack Black's just the best teacher in this whole movie. All the stuff with the kids learning the instruments, I love. When Freddie's going crazy on the drums, and he's like, "I like it, but dial it back." Freddie is probably my favorite kid. I love Freddie.
Her name is Justine Bateman. I knew it started with a J too, but didn't remember like what her actual first name was.
I don't know. I never know how to feel about like siblings having like the same letter for first letter of their names, like by design. Like I know parents who will have like 4 kids and they make it a goal to like have each of them start with the same letter. And I'm like, it's kind of cool, but also like, I don't know. I feel like it'd be weird.
Like, can you not think of a name that starts with a different letter? That kind of thing.
Yeah. Like, bro, I don't know. But I love when Freddie calls the principal, or it's not Freddie, but Freddie's got his all punk phase going, and the principal's like, "What are you wearing?" And then the other kid calls the principal the man.
Yeah, no.
Dewey was talking about.
She's like, "Why are your sleeves up, Freddie? That's not proper uniform." And he's like, "It's called punk."
It's called punk.
She's like, "Well, it's not school appropriate." And like pulls one of his sleeves down, and when she walks away, he rolls it back up. And then the one kid is like, "You're the man, Miss Mullins," and she's like, "Thank you,
thank you, damn the man." Oh my god, there's so many just cute like. I don't think any of the jokes in it are like laugh out loud funny. Besides Jack Black just doing a like perfect physical comedy because he's just hilarious. But all the jokes feel very sincere and like natural coming from the kids or whatever. That it all just works.
Oh my god! When after Dewey gets exposed and he's like released from the job because he wasn't Ned. Because that's this whole thing. Like he took Ned's spot because he needed somebody, and then he's like, "These kids rock! Like this is awesome.
These kids do rock." Yeah.
And once he gets kicked out, when the class the next day, like Freddy and what is I forget the Asian kid's name, but they're like arguing, and like the Asian kid's like he's standing up for himself because Jack Black, like what Dewey did for him, like Dewey instilled that confidence in him, which is great. That's awesome to see. But they're like about to like square up, and then the Tamika stands up and she's like, "You touch him, I'm gonna shove those 6 down your throat." And Freddy's facial reaction is incredible. It's like eyebrow just raises, like, oh shit.
Yeah, you sent that clip to me. The kid's name is Lawrence.
Lawrence, yes.
Lawrence Sonke. Yeah.
We haven't even talked about Zach yet. Zach's the lead guitarist, right? That, like,
yeah.
He's not like he likes playing guitar, but like when Dewey's giving him like the assignments and everything, he's kind of like moping a little bit. He's like, okay.
Yeah.
And then like the next day, Dewey sees him with his dad, and his dad being like kind of stuck up asshole towards him.
Yeah, like, why are you listening to that rock stuff? What the heck?
I told you no guitar until you finish your chores and your homework. I'm like, oh my god, okay, don't let your kid have fun. Okay, cool.
Yeah, only classical music, Jack. Come on.
Playing guitar never got anyone anywhere. Forget all the people that have millions of dollars.
Yeah, and then, but I like that. I love that. In the end, I mean, Zach's dad is like one of the parents we focus on most closely. I mean, there are other ones that we get to see, but I love how in the end he comes around, like he sees Zach playing guitar up on the stage, and he's proud of his kid. Like
that moment, it's between him and Lawrence's dad, and Lawrence is like, "Your son has a lot of talent," and then Zach's dad is like, "Yours too," and they're just jamming with it.
It's such a good moment, but yeah,
you're
Zach
not hardcore. Yeah, you're not hardcore.
I actually love that song.
It's good. It's got rhythm.
Yeah, I have that song on Spotify. Yeah, Zach writes that song, which is pretty cool.
No, that was the one Dewey wrote, I believe. Zach wrote what was the one he wrote? He wrote another one. Because the hardcore thing is the...
Oh, yeah. That's right. He writes the one that they play at Battle of the Bands.
Yeah, the first one they play. Because they get to come on for the encore after.
They get to come on for the encore, but before, they thought they only were going to have one song. And so Dewey's like, it's got to be Zach. And then Zach's like, okay, but you have to sing it. And Dewey's like, I got you. I would be honored, bro.
Dude's like, are you sure? Are you sure it's your song? And he's like, yeah, I'm no singer. And Jack Black's like, okay, I got you, man.
Yeah. And he's like, I'm a solo right here. And then you can solo later, but this one's mine.
But like, it kind of shows you that like Dewey does what he does because he fucking loves it. He doesn't just do it for the spotlight. And it's like when Freddy was hanging out with like those guys at the band shots, and he's in the van playing cards in them. Yeah, sticks up. He's like acting like a parent in that situation. He's like, you had me worried sick, man. And he's like, look, they aren't rockers. They're posers. Rock isn't about getting
drugs.
Getting drugs, getting loaded. That's what he said. Rock isn't about getting loaded, man. And I love that. It's like, it's so pure because that's not what it's about.
No, it's not. It's about expressing yourself, about doing the thing you love, playing music. And he teaches that to all the kids.
I'm just like, I wish I would have fucking had a music class like this, where we actually played all the instruments, learned shit, like learn tempo, learn how to write, all that good shit.
Yeah, I love the montage of him like teaching them, where they write out the schedule and then they're going through and he's showing them like the history of rock and roll, and then like all these different bands and stuff. Like
he's naming like all these iconic rock bands, Led Zeppelin, AC/DC, and the class just like dumbfounded. They're like speaking a foreign language right now. He's like, oh my god. Okay, Summer. Add rock appreciation.
I love when he's asking like, who are your guys' favorite like people to listen to? And the one girl's like, who ends up like being the backup vocalist, she's like, Christina Aguilera. And he's like, oh my god, what are they teaching these kids? He gets so offended by Christina Aguilera. She's like, oh, rockers, Zeppelin.
God, when they when he's going over the riffs with Zach, like after he first gets to the school, I had to like listen to all those songs because like you just hear the riff and I'm like, that's fucking Iron Man by Black Sabbath. I want to listen to that now. And then he does Smoke on the Water by
Smoke on the Water is so good.
Yeah, by what is it? Purple. It's not purple.
Purple something. Deep Purple?
Yeah, Deep Purple, that's right. Yeah, but like those like just made me want to listen to those songs. And they do the Highway to Hell riff too. I'm just not like
Bro, you're
I don't dislike
gamer.
I don't dislike AC/DC. They're just not
no.
like
Braden hates AC/DC. AC/DC is his least favorite band of all time. What you all know. No, I get it. I love AC/DC, but I understand.
Also, what is the origin of Black Sabbath making the song Iron Man? Because that was made way before the movie Iron Man came out.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Iron Man was a character, but I doubt that's like what the song.
Yeah, because no one knew who Iron Man was.
He was not a big character. He was like.
It's like, how does Iron Man get a song and fucking Batman still doesn't have one? Like, why has why has a big artist not made a song called Batman or The Dark Knight or something? What the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Daughtry made Superman, and he's a Batman fan. True. That's the weird thing to me.
Yeah, he had a Batman song by one of the big artists. That's what we've learned today.
Yeah, but, we do.
Yeah, I just think the whole movie is just so wholesome. Like, it's one of the most wholesome movies I've ever seen. But it's also, like, genuinely entertaining. Like, the concept is interesting. Like, what if this guy, like, posed as a substitute teacher and then literally created a band with the kids from that class? The moment of him realizing when he goes up to their music class and listens in and he's like, oh my god, this is great. And then it just cuts to him running back and forth as he's bringing all his guitars and instruments in from his band.
Yeah, he's great. Oh, and when Miss Mullins like comes in to inspect the class, she's like, I got a report that they were hearing music from the classroom. They're like, no music here. What do you mean? And then she looks over and the guitar's right there. She's like, what is that then?
Yeah. We do like math songs and stuff. And then he like, I love the moment when he asked the question and the kid gets it right. And then he's like, no, that's not right. Cause he's not great at math. And the kid's like, no, I was right. And he's like, I was just testing you. I knew that. I was just testing if you knew it. And you did. You get a gold star. I love it. But, yeah, I think everything about it works. Like, it's definitely formulaic, but it's so well done. Like, I love the kids sticking up for him even after they find out that he was, like, a fraud or whatever. Cause they realized that he was genuine in his relationship with them, which I think is great. And they literally get on the bus and they
literally ditch class to go rock out with this guy because he's helped them out that much. Like, he's made them feel that great about themselves and have confidence within their abilities, what they can do, what they can be. And it's awesome.
I love he has so many cool relationships with so many of the kids. Like, Lawrence, him teaching them that he can be cool, or that he is cool. Their little, like, let's rock today handshake. Like, it's awesome. And yeah, they show up.
Yeah, he's like
out of it.
He's like, that's a long handshake. You'll have to learn it. The handshake goes for like 30 seconds, dude. He's like,
yeah, they're doing all this crazy stuff.
When they do the prayer to like the rock gods, but before the battle of the bands, it's great.
Yeah,
they ultimately lose the battle of the bands, and like Dewey is like so down on himself. He's like, we lost. And the kids are like, man, that's not what rock is about. And he's like, we did a kick-ass show. It was awesome. He's like, yeah, it was a pretty kick-ass show.
Yeah.
And then they hear the chants, School of Rock. And Dewey, and they're like, what? All the kids are like, what is that? And Dewey's like, they want an encore.
Go back out there. And then I love the moment where he's like, all the like crew and lighting people and stuff start to rush onto the stage, and he's like, "No, only the actual bit." Oh, whatever. Like,
everyone. Oh, the moment where the band that won Battle of the Bands, one of the members was flirting with the principal. Great moment. It's only like a minute long, but it's just incredible.
I know. He's like, it's hot in here. She's like, are you warm? Like, she has no idea that he's like flirting with her, and he's like, It's like you're very hot. he's like, what? I love that moment. But yeah, the whole performance is great. The parents coming around and seeing that their kids are awesome. Ned getting to stick up for himself and back his ride or die, his best friend. It's just, I love this movie.
The only character in this movie I truly hate is Ned's girlfriend. Like, everyone else is pretty cool.
Me too.
And, I mean, she's kind of there for you just to hate her. She's meant to be a bitch.
Yeah. I mean, they do a good job of making you dislike her. It's obviously intended. But all the other characters, I mean, the principal comes off as kind of like...
Bro, literally in the beginning, Ned's girlfriend is like, Dewey, if you can't come up with with your rent, with your portion of the rent, I don't live here anymore. And then he's doing that. Sure, it's not means he's taking Ned's spot as a sub, but he's getting the money. He's doing what the fuck you wanted him to. Then you're going to report his ass. You're just preying on this man's downfall.
I know. It's like crazy. Don't like her. But I love Dewey's like kind of speech to the parents where he's telling them like everything about their kid that even they didn't know. Like at first he's trying to talk about like, yeah, we did geography and arithmetic, and then eventually obviously they find out.
Yeah. Summer like I think brings up the project and then she's like, you might as well tell him. And he's like, oh, the truth is.
Yeah. But then he's like, but your kids are awesome, and I love them. And like, Lawrence didn't think he was cool, and now he's like,
how they get into Battle of the Bands is he makes up a fake disease that all the kids have, and they're dying. They got a rare blood disease.
He makes the kids all like get on the ground. And
I think that was Summer's idea too.
It's the kid's idea. Yeah, Summer's idea. Yeah.
And then he goes out, he's like, we're in, and they all start jumping, and he's like, cut it out, you're supposed to be dying. They're like,
dying. I love it. Oh, man. But, it's one of my favorite movies. I keep watching it, and I keep loving it. I don't know if it gets better for me every time, but it never gets worse. I'm always like, let's watch School of Rock. Great movie. I love it.
Yeah, I think there were just like a lot of smaller things I saw in this watch that I hadn't seen in previous watches, and it just made me appreciate it that much more.
Yeah, there's a lot of little stuff like that. Jack Black should have been nominated for an Oscar. I truly believe that. I think he's so good in this movie. Like,
and the movie wouldn't work without him. Like, if his performance is bad, this movie doesn't work. It's just that simple.
Yeah, easily one of my favorite comedic performances of all time. Probably somewhere up there, and just my favorite film performances ever, personally. I just love it. But yeah, I don't know. What else is going on in the world? Football, basically it.
Football. It's spooky season, that too. But yeah, football. I don't want to talk about the Patriots.
That's, you know what? That's understandable.
They're dead.
The Cowboys.
They did trade. Team. Did you see that they traded for J.C. Jackson again?
J.C. Jackson? Yeah, they got him back.
So at least they got better now. All their other corners are fucking injured, so they needed something.
Yeah, the unfortunate thing is the reason that they traded for J.C. Jackson was because their defensive rookie of the year, Christian Gonzalez, is probably out for the season, which is horrible. Like, I feel so bad. I love Christian Gonzalez.
I'm just hoping J.C. Jackson is like he was with the Patriots when he was there, and not like he's been with the Chargers, because he just has not.
Yeah, he has not been good with the Chargers.
I think that can come down to the coaching, because like Bill Belichick is a defensive coach. He's kind of always been.
Yeah, the Chargers coaching in general has been historically bad past couple of years, I would say. I do think their offense, like their offensive coordinator that they got, I think he was with Dallas before this. I think he's been doing a good job overall this year. The offense has looked pretty good. It's been defense and those situational areas where it just seems like Brandon Staley has zero brain that have been keeping them at 2-2 and in quote games all year.
And he keeps going for it on fourth down after these like past. Ever since he started coaching the Chargers, like they have not had a good like fourth down conversion ratio, and that's staying true. I'm just like, Brandon Staley, When are you going to recognize that you're not good on 4th down? Just kick the fucking field goal.
Just punt the ball.
Just punt the ball or kick the field goal. Whatever. If you're in range to kick a field goal, do that. If not, punt the damn ball away.
Yeah.
And that was that's part of the reason the Lions lost to the Seahawks earlier this season too. I fully believe that. They went for it on 4th down times, I think 3, and they didn't get 2 of them. Fully believe that's a big reason they lost to the Seahawks. And I'm like, Dan Campbell, please don't be pulling Brandon Staley's out here.
Yeah, I am a big Dan Campbell fan. I truly do believe he's like a culture-changing guy. I mean, that is what he's doing in Detroit.
He's a big personality. Like, everyone loves him.
Big personality. The players love him. They would run through a brick wall for that guy. But I do think he has a tendency to coach entirely with his personality at times, which gets him into some trouble like that with the 4th down. First game of the season, he did a fake punt from his own 17-yard line. It worked. It's not always going to work. I don't know. I
think a big part of that is it's the first game of the season. Like, the Chiefs just weren't expecting that. Who the fuck would be expecting that? What the fake punt on your own 17, dude? If that fails, you're giving them points.
Yeah, it's a crazy play. There's a lot of similarities with that stuff between Dan Campbell and Brandon Staley. The difference is Dan Campbell is a culture changer. He is great with his players. I believe his players would literally die for that man. Dan Campbell's awesome.
I think Jared Goff was in an interview or something earlier this season, and they were talking about Dan Campbell and how he's just a muscled up dude. He kind of looks like a meathead. That's what everyone thinks of any jack dude for some reason. And Jared Goff is he's anything but. And I'm like, hell yeah, man, hell yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think the Lions are good. They should win against Carolina this week.
I think they should still be undefeated, but shit happens.
Shit does happen. I'm excited. Dude, it's crazy when one of my most anticipated games, this week isn't that great, but Falcons-Texans, bro, I will be watching.
I said, me and Andrew recorded last night, and I said Texans-Falcons potentially game of the week. Like, I know we got the Cowboys-49ers, but low-key, Texans-Falcons could be game of the fucking week.
I feel bad for the Falcons, because, I do think overall they have good coaching. I like Arthur Smith. I think his misuse of Kyle Pitts, their tight end, has been pretty eye-opening. But, I think they're well coached. Bijan is insane. He's already a top 3 running back in the league, in my opinion. That might be hyperbolic to state, given it's only been 4 games. But Bijan Robinson is awesome. Desmond Ridder kind of sucks, which is their main issue right now.
I was going to say, that's their biggest problem because, looking at the Falcons, their team is good. They just need a quarterback. If they had a good to level quarterback, they would win that division so easily.
Yeah. Speaking of good to potentially maybe growing into elite level quarterbacks, the team on the other side that they're playing, CJ Stroud, baby, what a guy, what a player. What are you doing?
4 games in, he's a rookie, still no interceptions. He's top 5 in passing yards. It's pretty fucking insane.
Number 4 in passing yards, no pick, playing for the Texans. His whole offensive line has been injured, basically. Hopefully it gets better, although they did
That's what's so crazy to me, too. His whole offensive line has been injured, and he's playing that damn good. How?
Yeah. One of those guys that was playing last week did, I guess, also get injured, and he's going to be out for the season. So that's not going to help, but they're going to get other guys back.
When are they going to get Laramie Tunsil back? Because he's one of the best offensive linemen in the league.
He's really good. Yeah, I don't know when. Hopefully soon. But I'm a big CJ Stroud fan, and he played for Ohio State. Who I fuck Ohio State. I don't like Ohio State.
What that shit you sent me? That video you sent me of CJ Stroud the other day of him just being
I love that video so much,
dude. It makes me want to be a fucking Texans fan because you can just see the guy's heart, his passion, his respect for the sport.
His respect for the sport and his respect for the Texans fans, because he knows the Texans had not, they had lost
their appreciation to the fans. He's like, I want people to be proud of repping this.
I want our fans to feel proud when they rep Texans gear. And he said the line, he's like, hey, I know when my Lakers lose, I'd be pissed. So I I don't want that shit to happen. We're working hard.
Hey, it's like,
every
I
day to
take this
make
shit
30.
serious. I'm like, dude, that's any hardcore fan of any sport. We take the shit serious.
Yeah.
Like, when it gets toxic, I think it gets out of hand. But taking it serious and being toxic about it are two completely different things.
Yeah, absolutely. Love CJ Stroud. Hope he continues to have an awesome year. That division is interesting because the Colts are every team in that division is 2-2. I like what I've seen from the Colts this year. I was expecting them to not be very good at all.
I was expecting them to be the worst team in the AFC, and before Aaron Rodgers got injured, and before I saw the Broncos were this bad.
Yeah, the Broncos are really bad. I did not expect Anthony Richardson to come into the league and be this productive this early. I thought he had potential. He's an athletic freak, but he's played really well. He's got to stay on the field.
I was gonna say he's gonna have to learn to protect himself when he learns. I feel like that's just like a rookie thing, like a young QB thing, because like if you notice, like all these young QBs that come into the league, they're just
Joe
like
Burrow,
running like nothing matters. And I'm like, bro, just
himself early on
when you're about to get hit.
Yeah, I think
Josh Allen's still really bad about that. He just, I don't know. Josh Allen's way of playing football is just like super ballsy, and like he doesn't care if he takes a hit. And I'm like, dude, one of these days you're gonna get fucking injured from taking one of these hits.
Or even if he doesn't get injured, I think there's gonna come. I mean, obviously, still hopefully years down the line, but when he's 32 and Mahomes is still able to play at an elite level and has taken care of his body, I worry that Josh Allen is going to be beaten down because of all these hits he's taken.
Something I always notice with watching Mahomes, like basically any times that dude scrambles, it's towards the sideline so he can step out of bounds.
Yeah.
And that's smart.
Yeah, it is smart.
I'm just amazed that that's always open for him. I'm like, how the fuck are there no defenders there?
I don't know. His goddamn ability to always run just fast enough to get a first down needs to be fucking studied. I swear to God, he looks so slow, but he gets the first down every time he runs.
I think he just looks slow because of the way he runs. Like, I don't think he's actually that slow.
No, I don't think he's slow either. But yeah,
he's definitely not as slow as a Tom Brady or a Peyton Manning was, or a Jared Goff. Watching Jared Goff scramble was so fucking funny, dude. He had like an 8-yard rush. Like, I don't remember if it was I think it was in the Packers game. They had like an 8-yard rush.
Yeah,
and it took so long for him to get 8 yards. I'm like, how did it take you this long to get this man down? How did you allow that to happen?
Yeah,
I mean, it's kind of beneficial because like you don't expect a quarterback like that to rush. Once they see an opening, they can just take it.
Yeah, it's nice for sure. That brought up the running out of bounds thing. Brought up just real quick. I thought it was a cool moment. Maybe the Chargers players are up in arms about how they feel about their head coach. There was a moment I think last week or whatever. Definitely showed how they feel about their quarterback. Did you see the play where Justin Herbert got hit, definitely out of bounds? Like it was a clear late hit by the Raiders player. Okay, so there was a play. He was running out of bounds. He was fully out, in the white. Raiders player hits him. Max Crosby was there, and even Max Crosby was like, "Bro, why'd you do that?" You can see him. Literally, it was on the Chargers sideline. Within seconds, this Raiders player is surrounded by Chargers players, coming at his throat. It is like a Raider in a sea of Chargers players. They were not happy. I was like, that's gotta feel good if you're Justin Herbert. No, the boys got your back.
So the Bears got their first win tonight. They beat the Commanders 40-20. I don't know how they scored 40 points, but they fucking did.
I mean, hey, I have still not jumped on the Justin Fields as absolute dog shit train.
Oh my god, this means that if the Panthers lose to the Lions Sunday, the Panthers are the only winless team in the league left.
Yeah. And the Bears still have their face.
Yeah.
So
the Bears should be yeah, we can play good, guys. Carolina's back.
I have no idea what to make of the Commanders. They played the Eagles really close last week. I didn't think the Eagles played great, but I didn't think they played all that bad. I thought Washington played a pretty good game.
I think the Commanders are
20 for the Bears.
They're a bad team, but they're not that bad. I'm still, even though they lost by 20 to the Bears, I don't think the Bears are a better team than them. I just think the Commanders are very inconsistent. And that's always been the case with Washington pretty much, like the 21st century. Most of the 21st century.
I think the Browns are going to be very similar this year in that, like, they have talent and can win games and look really good, and then they're going to have games like they did against the Ravens, where they are not even close.
Titans too. Like they get destroyed by Cleveland, then they turn around and just slap the Bengals. I'm like, what? Where the fuck was this last week, bro? Like, are you good or are you not? I cannot tell.
I don't know what's up with the Bengals. I don't know if it's salvageable at this point. I did not see this coming. I think Joe Burrow is clearly not 100% and hasn't been at all. I personally refuse to believe that Joe Burrow is just not good, like not a good quarterback anymore.
I don't get it. Like, how? I think the Rams are a better team than the Titans. Like, how do you beat the Rams and then get destroyed by the Titans? Like, I figured that win would boost their momentum a bit, and like, if they did lose, it'd at least be close. But no, they blew the fuck out.
Yeah, it's really weird. I think they should have just rested Joe Burrow for a couple weeks at the beginning of the season because they lost those games anyway. And now it's like he feels like he has to play because they're trying to save the season. Is he ever going to get to 100% this year? It's like, it's tough. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, if the Bengals like keep going this trajectory, this division is going to be the Ravens to fucking take.
Yeah. I mean, the Ravens are pretty much exactly what I expected they would be this year.
They've pretty much been the same like every year. It's just injuries beat them down, and I'm hoping
they've had a lot of injuries already, and they've worked through them. But Lamar's got to stay healthy at the end of the year. That's been the story both the past two seasons, is they've been in a playoff spot, and then Lamar goes down. And 2 years ago, they missed the playoffs completely because of it. Last year, they limp into the playoffs. They have to play the Bengals without him, and they lose. They probably win that game against the Bengals. If
they played the Bengals close even without Lamar, like close
that game was
and
really
Lamar
close.
Jackson was not there.
Yeah, so Lamar's got to stay on the field in December and January. If he does that, I mean, we still got to see him perform in the playoffs. That's still something we just haven't seen because he's hit the bed and then has been injured. But I think the Ravens are good. They're super well coached. They're physical. Their defense is gross, as pretty much always.
Yeah, I mean, I don't.
Interesting, especially
I don't count them out in the Super Bowl conversation for the AFC. They're definitely one of the better teams in the AFC.
Particularly because I think, at least so far, the AFC has been a lot weaker than I was expecting this year as a whole. Like the Jaguars don't look as good as I was expecting them to. The Bengals obviously don't look as good as I was expecting them to. There are teams that have looked better than I expected them to, but I still don't think, like, it's not like the Texans are going to be a Super Bowl contender. It's not, the Jets, Aaron Rodgers goes down and they're completely out of it. So it really feels to me like it is the Chiefs and the Bills, but then a team like the Ravens, they can sneak into that conversation pretty easily.
Or, I mean, even though the Dolphins got stomped by the Bills, I still would count them out if they're healthy. Like, they're going to play the Bills a lot closer next time. They're going to have a better game plan for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, the AFC is really interesting.
It is. Been interesting all around in football.
49ers still.
It's been fun. I'm excited to watch more. The 49ers do still look like the best. I still believe the Eagles can beat them, but we'll have to see how that game looks.
I honestly think the Eagles might be the only NFC team that can beat the 49ers. I do not see any other NFC team, at this moment at least, fucking beating them in the playoffs.
I don't know. I think the Seahawks could, in a one like fluke game scenario, I think they have the ability to.
I mean, in the playoffs, though.
I mean, the Seahawks were close in that game last year until like the third, like halfway through the third quarter, and I don't know. I think Pete Carroll's done a good job. I agree, though. In the playoffs, I think it's 49ers or Eagles. I don't think the Lions are there yet.
I just really hope the Lions at least win one playoff game. Like, bring that franchise something. They haven't won a playoff game since 1991. Do you know how huge even one playoff win would be? Like, it would show you that this team's got the potential to do things in the future. And I think that's already there. But they gotta show something in the playoffs, too.
They do. Everything comes down to what you show in the playoffs in this league. I mean, regular season's great, but you got to show up in the playoffs. And we'll see who does it. I think the 49ers are very well poised to make a deep run.
That's why, like, the hype around the Cowboys, like, always just irritates me. We hear it every goddamn season because they do good in the regular season usually, but come playoffs, come January, they can't do shit. They maybe make it past the wild card round. They haven't been to an NFC championship since Tupac and Biggie. And they saw Tupac's murder before the fucking Cowboys made it back.
Yeah.
That is... God, dude, I don't know how that even happens.
Yeah. But no, I think the 49ers, they are the best team. But, I don't know, I lean back on, hey, we get into a playoff scenario. I haven't seen Brock Purdy really in a tough playoff environment. I know Jalen Hurts can perform in the playoffs. He's had a little bit of a rougher start to the season than I would have wanted, but he played really well against Washington. So I think the Eagles have a good chance to beat them, but it's going to be tough. The Niners look really good, particularly if they stay healthy.
Yeah. I mean, Brock Purdy last year in the playoffs, he beat the Seahawks, he beat the Cowboys, and, like, I mean, they never looked like they were going to lose either of those games. Then he got injured in the Philly game, so who knows what would have happened. Technically, Brock Purdy is still undefeated in games he's played all 4 quarters of. That's just crazy.
Which, that is impressive. I don't know. I have yet to watch the actual games and see him do anything that I'm like, wow, that's special. But he's won every game.
The 49ers are just that damn good that, like, he doesn't have to be at an elite level to get to the fucking Super Bowl. The team's just that good. He just has to knock the ball over. Like, he can be that game manager role like Garoppolo was, and I don't know, I kind of feel like Purdy is a little better than Garoppolo, at least in San Fran.
I think I don't know, it's tough to tell. I think he's definitely very comparable. I could see the argument that he's better.
At least so far. I don't know what's going to happen down the line, but as he's shown so far.
Yeah. I'm interested to see how he handles Dallas and how he and the offense as a whole handle Dallas's defense, which I do think is very good. Christian McCaffrey should still be successful, but that'll be an interesting Sunday night game.
Yeah, I don't know if it's going to be close or not, but if the Cowboys eke out and win, I think it will be close. I could see the 49ers destroying them, though.
I think it'll be close. I think it'll be a good game. But if the 49ers blow them out, that'll be very impressive.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of almost feel like how the Buffalo Dolphins game was last week. Like, that was a statement by Buffalo to the league. I almost feel like this could be that for the 49ers. Like, just the 49ers putting everyone on notice. Like, we are that fucking team, if you didn't already know. Which I think most teams already do know.
Yeah, it'll be fun. I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I'd be happy if they win just because, like, fuck the Cowboys. But I think it's going to be close, personally.
I'm wondering how long both the 49ers and Eagles are going to stay undefeated. Like, it's always an interesting thing with every season for me, just to see how close teams get to getting that undefeated season. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I don't think the Eagles will lose until they play the Dolphins. That's next week, isn't it? But you never know. No, it's week 7, isn't it? Yeah. Because they play the Rams this week, and then they shouldn't take the Rams lightly. Because if they do, it might come back to bite them in the ass. I agree. I think the Rams are good and competitive and will be in most games. Stafford's looked pretty good. Puka Nacua has been awesome. They should be getting Cooper Kupp back soon. So I hope they don't take them lightly. The Rams could win that game. I don't think they will. Then we play the Jets, which is like free win. And then we have the Dolphins. Unfortunately. Yeah. I mean, all right. That's the only reason the Patriots have fucking won a game this season. If Aaron Rodgers didn't get entered, the Patriots would be fucking 0-4 right now, dude. Hey, look on the bright side, okay? If maybe you'll have a magical turnaround, and if not, you'll get a high draft pick. So. I find it hilarious that they're favored against the Saints still. Did you pick them to win? Yeah, I picked the Patriots. I don't know. Is Derek Carr playing? He was like hurt. If he's not playing, he played against the Buccaneers, I'm pretty sure, so I'd assume he's playing against the Patriots. Did he actually? I thought he was like out. thought he did. I saw it in passing, like during some highlights, but I could have swore I saw his passing stats for that game. Yeah, he played. He threw for 127 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions, 68.2 rating.
Okay. Are the Bucks like good? Like, what the fuck is up with that?
I don't know. They got stomped by Philly, so they can't be that good. I mean, I know Philly is a good team, but like, it was 25-3 at one point.
Yeah, it wasn't close.
And that Philly is definitely the best team they played so far. So, like, yeah. I'm not counting them out of that division, though. Like, I think that
I'm not either. I think they could win the division. Yeah. Starting for 3-1.
Before coming into this season, I said I wouldn't be surprised if any team other than the Buccaneers won that division. Now I'm saying I won't be surprised if any team other than the Panthers win that division. Which were my fucking choice to win the division.
Yeah, I picked the Panthers too. That prediction looks really bad right now.
It looks very bad.
They've had injuries. I just underestimated like how much of a struggle their offense would be. Like, they just have nobody that can separate or be an elite talent wide receiver position.
Yeah, I thought they'd at least be able to score some, but they can like not move the ball at all. It's like them and the Steelers are pretty similar, except the Steelers have a way better defense. Like, both their offenses suck. Like, potentially bottom 5.
I don't think Bryce Young is the issue. I also don't think he can be a solution to what this current roster is. He's just not athletically gifted enough to be an Anthony Richardson, Josh Allen type of guy. But I think he's played fine. They just have nobody else there. So it's tough.
Yeah, it's not looking good for Carolina, but
no.
Who knows? Who knows what the future may hold? You know, at least you'll get that number 1 draft pick if they keep that bad.
Yeah. All right. Did we win the Battle of the Bands? Can we get out of here?
We won the Battle of the Bands because we're the best band.
Let's go. We are the best.
Yeah, you think you're
the Giggly Road band.
Well, you're not hardcore. No, you're not hardcore.
Such a good movie. I'm gonna rewatch it sometime soon now.
But I'm gonna have to add that song. It's just so good. Yeah, but we're going back into hibernation. We'll be back next time talking about who knows what.
Something.
Surely more football, but we'll have another topic too.
Spooky season episode.
Yes, we need to do some horror. We're in the heart of spooky season right now. I want to talk some horror. Yeah. That's really, other than football, that's all I'm really watching now. Like, I'm focusing on horror, and, you know, football's football, so I'm still going to pay attention to that. But everything else is going to have to take a back seat. It's October, baby.